Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Turning Red. The latest Pixar film that's the third one in a row that's actually been sent over to Disney Plus, as opposed to being sent to theaters for, real life reasons. But hey, despite the fact that Pixar has been snubbed at the theaters thrice, I do think that these last three Pixar films have actually been really, really good. That was the case with Soul, that was the case with Luca, and with Turning Red, it happens to cover a certain subject matter that I never thought Pixar would ever take part in. But considering that Dami Shi, the director, is basing this off her own experiences in Toronto, and considering that this is also the first animated film they've made to be set in Canada, I guess this is a film full of firsts for them. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story follows Maylin Lee, a spunky 13-year-old girl who lives in Toronto and who's basically a straight-A student who's also a massive boy band fan, alongside her group of girlfriends. Girls who just happen to be friends. Unfortunately, Maylin Lee also has her very domineering, very strict mother, who's, on top of being rather overbearing and being voiced by Sandra Oh, she happens to, doesn't seem to mention that her family has a certain connection with Red Pandas, based off her ancestor Sun Yi. Simply put, Maylin Lee wakes up one day to find that she's been transformed into a red panda, and that form of hers can be controlled by her emotions. Anything from her anger to her, getting all hot under the collar when it comes to seeing a hot boy, it'll release the panda. And Maylin has to learn to control this power before a ritual that's held at the end of May. That just happens to coincide with a concert for her favorite boy band, so it's certainly a film that's full of issues for her to deal with. And it's issues that, while fantastical, are stuff that I think that every teenager, not just teenage girl, can relate with. Obviously, there are bits of edgy humor that Pixar goes for, such as maxi pads, having references to those, and having the girls being so thirsty for the guys in their school that they feel like Elastigirl fanboys if they find some saucy fan art. But despite the fact that this film definitely tries to appeal more to the teenage market than some of Pixar's other films, I still think it happens to handle its message pretty well. That there are sides to everyone that are messy, but that doesn't mean they should just be locked up forever. They should be allowed to be let out, and you should spread your wings at some point. Otherwise, you'll end up as someone who just doesn't accept any new things in life, and who just is stuck, and who's just stuck policing everyone else and just being a total buzzkill, the way Ming Li ends up being. As in, she goes beyond the point of being a mother who doesn't allow her daughter to do anything fun, and she actively goes out to blame everyone else but her daughter when it comes to things that she's going through. So yeah, she definitely comes across as a mother that we've all seen before, and one that definitely deserves to have her learn a lesson as much as her daughter learns a lesson. That's what I like about the message here. It feels like the message is geared both towards parents and kids in this case, where it seems to be that your kids have messy parts to them, but they should just be regulated accordingly and not just shut down entirely. And when you combine that with bright and beautiful animation that shows Toronto in its most lively and energetic way, and some moments that actually feel kind of anime inspired, especially in the more fantastical scenes, and especially with the big finale, you get a film that happens to fit into the Pixar style while also adding its own little bits to the visuals to make it stand out as its own thing. And even though I'm not the biggest boy band fan, even the music really got to me in a good way. Even though this film is baked in the 2000s when it comes to its subject matter, and when it comes to things that are popular in that time period. Not just boy bands, but also flip phones, Tamagotchi pets. It definitely happens to feel like it was set in the 2000s while having the modern sensibilities of the 2020s. And I'm just glad that a film has that 2000s sensibilities without shoving it in your face as much as some can tend to do. So, I generally enjoyed Turning Red. I know it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag for some people, but for me, I think it was definitely I think it was definitely one of those films that happens to handle its tricky subject matter with the nuance that Pixar is known for, while also generally being a different experience than the other Pixar films that came before it. So that's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. See you next time.